This is my prediction for Q3, Q4 2023. So, as I go through my prediction, remember, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Do not make any financial moves based on what I'm saying about. My name is Coach JB. What I work to do is make the complex simple. So, I spent about 10 years in banking. I went to CBA Executive Banking School, and I left the banking system when I realized that it's a Ponzi scheme. Just in my opinion, the people that work at the bank are great human beings. But as you get into the higher echelon, there's a lot of things going on that are not supporting human beings in their financial education. So as I broke free from the system, I've spent 8 to 9 hours a day since 2017 researching the mechanisms of money. Now, one thing that I'm really, really good at, and I feel like is my skill set, is understanding historical patterns forwards and backwards. One of my greatest teachers that I follow is Ray Dalio, understanding the changing world order and the massive debt cycles that we're in right now. So, as I break this down, this is just based on my opinion, my understanding of banking at a very deep level, the massive liquidity crisis, and the massive debt crisis that we're facing right now. So, if you need any support, if you click the description down below, you can join our private Warrior Academy. The reason why we have a private Warrior Academy is if you guys know anybody in the financial space, there are thousands and thousands of scammers out there. Okay. I will never proactively DM you. I do not invest people's money, and there is no get rich quick. We have our Warrior Academy. We teach the 5 pillars of wealth, access to our portfolios, education, 5 calls a week, and my revolutionary 120-day challenge. We do not invest people's money. I also teach IUL in there. I'm building my own insurance team within our Warrior Academy where we teach people how to do infinity banking. Okay. So let's dive into this. I have to share these on every video. It frustrates me a little bit, but that's the state of consciousness that we're in right now. Every TikTok video, I now need to say to my friends out here that I will never DM you, ever DM you guys. I will never proactively DM you because that's the state of the greed gene within our society. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is nobody's coming to save you. I hope you understand that. I hope you understand that. Nobody's coming to save you. President for me is God. I pray to God every single morning. I pray to God every single night. I pull the log out of my own eye before I pull the straw out of yours. I'm not worried about what other people are doing within my ecosystem. I created my own ecosystem. I'm not escaping the matrix. I created my own matrix. So let me explain that for just a moment before I go into my predictions. Okay. So when I left the banking system, it was an interesting dynamic. So in the banking system, I started to get this feeling and vibration within my body. That's why I say, don't trust a word I say, trust the feeling and vibration within your body and act accordingly. Well, I started to feel something in my body that wasn't right. First of all, I was being manipulated by management, in my opinion. It was very, very stressful. It was seemed very, very unethical the way that we were treating people. And lo and behold, our bank ended up in a massive bank scandal. We were manipulating customers. We were not supporting our customers properly. And I realized that when there was money in politics, there's always greed. So as I went through banking school, I read a book called The Creature of Jekyll Island. Fortunately or unfortunately, while I'm in banking school, and I realized how this system actually works. Now, I want to share with you guys, I'm not against anybody. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm up. God is my present CEO. I don't go out and protest. I don't cause problems, and I'm not trying to cause division. What you do with your life is your business. As I said, I don't escape the matrix. I created my own. So I walked out of the banking system and I lost everything twice in the process of building what the ecosystem that I built now. And now, as I sit, I've developed financial freedom. I've developed the reality around me, the people that I hang out with, the people that I break bread with, the place that I live, and I'm living my own paradigm. Okay. Everybody can do this, but everybody's waiting for Trump to come back or DeSantis to come in, or some of you are waiting for Biden to stay and all these things. The president isn't coming to save you guys. They're having a freaking ego battle contest back and forth, and it's all for power. If it was for humanity, they would be empowering us and educating us on how to all become wealthy. They would teach us the money game so we can be empowered to do this ourselves. But they don't teach us the money game. They sell us false promises every single time. The next 4 years, another president comes in, we swing the pendulum all the way over this way, and then we're all pissed off about that. And then we swing the pendulum over this way. It's been happening in human history over and over and over again. Jesus was going from village to village, and he was ignoring the danger. Think about that. There was people in line paying their taxes, Every single village had their own thing. You had Caesar controlling the people, and it was just the same thing. But what Jesus was doing is providing hope to people. He went up to the man. He says, "Do you want to walk? Would you want to be healed?" He said, "Yes." Says, "Get your mat and walk." But what the people were thinking, let's say the presidents or the Pharisees or the Caesar, they made them think that they needed something outside of themselves to get up and walk. You have the power to do this. So I just want to start out with that. So let me share my prediction. So here we are right now. The SEC, Gary Gensler, is going hard on cryptocurrency, right? So there was a video that I'll be going over on Monday where he talks about we already have a digital currency, which we do, guys. There is no money in the system. It is all a quantum number in a computer. It's all fake money. Since 1971, we attach us from the gold standard. Our money is fake. And they're in a very dangerous position right now because the only reason our dollar has value in it is because we believe in it. That's it. The BRICS countries are working to de-dollarize, and if they de-dollarize or they take oil off of the dollar or dollar off of the oil, the dollar really has no value, guys. But the dollar's not going to come collapsing down anytime soon because the dollar controls every single mechanism in the financial system. So we know that the decisions that America makes is catastrophic or supportive to the ecosystem. Every time we raise interest rates, so this is going to go into my predictions, every time we raise interest rate, it destroys everybody else's economy. Okay. So I think everybody can agree that people around the world are tired of America's bullying. They are. They're absolutely tired of it. And they're tired of it because we're super sloppy now. America's really, really, really sloppy. So as we go into Q3 and Q4, I've been predicting this for a while. Biden is telling us, he's sending out posts on his Twitter, or the White House is, and they're saying the job markets are better than they've ever been in 2023 and any presidential. Obviously, a bunch of jobs were gone and then they came back. People are coming back to work, right? You shut down the system. The whole world got shut down. Of course, people are trying to come back to work. You destroyed the job markets. But remember, let's back up. Jerome Powell said in 2021, he said, that's the head of the Federal Reserve. He said, I'm worried about the middle class getting wiped out, leverage towards technology. Okay. The middle class is moving down to the working poor, whether it's AI, technology, the interest rates, all these things happening. So we're going into Q3 and Q4. So now we're heading into, remember, first they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they institute and join it. So what they're doing is they're working to choke off all the entry points or exit points outside of the traditional financial system. Okay. Let me repeat that. They're working to choke off all the exit points outside the traditional financial system. Okay. So they don't want you to have Binance. They don't want you to have Coinbase. They don't want you to have, now I have a different feeling about Coinbase. They're connected to BlackRock, one of the largest asset managers in the world. I don't think Coinbase is going anywhere. Binance, who knows about that story? But what I do know is that money and politics go hand in hand. Okay. What I do know is that they sued the most well run crypto company in the world. There's something going on behind the scenes there around this. Okay. They are going to wipe out a lot of cryptocurrencies, guys. That's what this is about. They don't want any type of currency that is outside of the euro, the digital dollar. Let's call it the digital euro, the digital dollar. And that's what Gary Gensler is talking about. They don't want to lose control of the financial system because where they sit right now at 120% debt to income ratio, we are negative debt to income ratio. Okay. 30% of our debt is held outside the United States. We're in a massive, massive debt crisis. So here's where we're going in Q3 and Q4. I believe they're either going to continue to hold interest rates or continue to raise them up to cool inflation down to 2%. Now, what does that do to the normal everyday person? Yes, the job markets might be good now, but I'll give you a personal example. I'll speak from personal experience. Okay. Money was flowing like water. We could get access to capital. We could get access to loans. Interest rates were super cheap. But now with interest rates going up, companies, we own multiple companies. So we're a company owner. Companies have less access to cash flow, or excuse me, capital, which hurts their cash flow. So if they're not with inflation, if their cash flow isn't where it used to be, because inflation went up 17%, guys. So that means it's 17% more expensive to run your business in just rough numbers. When interest rates go up, you can't borrow your way out of the problem anymore. So guess what your number one expense is? Employees. So companies in Q3 and Q4, and you're going to start to see this, you're going to see a lot of companies start to go bankrupt because during 2020 and before that, they were buying junk bonds off the companies just by printing money, buying junk bonds off of these companies, and they were keeping them alive. Well, you're going to start to see the liquidity drop. So number one, the job markets are going to start to falter in Q3 and Q4. Every time someone gets laid off, that is now somebody not borrowing. Key, because every single dollar in the system is someone else's debt. So if Susie gets laid off from her construction job, okay, she steps away from her construction job and she no longer has income. She is no longer going to pay her loan, which is going to hurt the bank's liquidity or their interest income, right? She's no longer going to be putting deposits in the bank, which is going to suck liquidity out of the bank, right? So think about that for just a moment. So that's just Susie, and she's pulling liquidity out of the bank, and she's the one that hits her direct deposit. And they take your direct deposit and lend it out 9 times over. They put it in the capital markets. They lock it up into, index, right? Index insurance, things like that. So the banks are taking your hard-earned money. They're lending it out. They're indexing it. So if Susie's paycheck isn't going anymore, now that's one person with their liquidity gone, and one person that can't pay their loan, which is hurting the interest income in the bank. Remember, the banks are in a liquidity crisis. We are the liquidity. So the cryptocurrency markets are sucking liquidity out of the banks. So where they're teetering on right now and why they're going so crazy on this is because they're in a liquidity crisis. The bank deposits are plummeting right now. They're at the lowest thing they've ever been. And I think, don't quote me on this. You can comment down below. Maybe history, I think, since in the last 10 years, I think it is. It's the lowest they've been. They're usually average about 10%. They're going down now. Okay. So bank deposits are going down. People like me are going to non-bank financial institutions. For example, I went to private equity to get funding for my new startup company. Okay. So we run money through the banks, and we weren't able to get a loan from a traditional bank. So I went to private equity. That's a non-bank financial institution. So companies that are well run are stepping outside the traditional banking system. So the crypto market provides a opportunity for people to exit the traditional banking system. So here's what I think is going to happen. This is my prediction. So we're going to see a bunch of FUD around these exchanges, right? They're going to sue the shit out of them. They're going to put a bunch of FUD out there. They're going to make them spend a bunch of money. What they're trying to do is they're trying to shut them down by making them spend a bunch of money on legal fees. Basically, imagine choking someone out until they just tap out, right? So we just heard that Binance put $1 billion aside to fight the SEC. Ripple spent 200 million. But think about this for just a moment, family. So a lot of people are chasing pump and dumps and all these meme coins and stuff. Do you realize that they're going to come smashing down on these things? So be very, very, very diligent on where you invest your money. Make sure you focus on intrinsic, real world solved cryptocurrencies that are going to be here for the long term. Which cryptos and blockchains are actually operating in the ecosystem right now? Ripple, the company, let's take out XRP, is working with 500 financial institutions. Think about that for just a moment. They're not going anywhere, guys. Coinbase is not going anywhere. They're going to go through this legal battle. They're going to figure this is about the tokens. It's not about Coinbase. It's not about Binance. It's about a non-bank financial product that is sucking liquidity out of the traditional banking system. That's why Elizabeth Warren is telling you that crypto is attached to fentanyl. They're taking the normal everyday person that's watching the television, telling them the vision, channeling information, and programming them that crypto is attached to fentanyl. So why would you touch it? Crypto isn't the fentanyl problem, guys. We're not even going to get into that. Okay. So what's going to happen is the job markets are going to start to falter. Everybody's like, well, the job markets are strong. It takes quarters. It takes, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to see the reverberation effects of interest rates. So we're going to start to see the reverberation of interest rates. And what you're going to start to see based on Ray Dalio's education is you're going to start to see civil war. Okay. And that's what the next step I want to talk about. What you're seeing with Target, Kohl's, Bud Light, all these different things is they're getting us to fight about things that have always existed. Okay. Transgender has always existed, guys. It's nothing new under the sun, right? The different, liking different sexes, whatever, that's always existed, guys. It's biblical. This stuff is, it's always been here. What they're doing is they're getting us to fight about these things. When you can separate Americans, well, still, I'm talking about America. I live in America. So when you can take people within their own country and make them focus on their differences and get them to fight, you get them to focus on the things that don't matter, and they can't see the things that are changing. Okay. And they often go into civil war and then global war when there's bad economic policies. Okay. So in America specifically, we're in a very dangerous position. So we had the rise and now we're in the decline of America. Okay. And if you follow the cycle, when you have rise, it's low interest rates, money's flowing like water. We're going into a massive debt. We're in a massive debt crisis. So when there's a massive debt crisis, bad policies, what they do is they get the people to fight against each other and fight against things that have always existed, we're in the freest country in the world. We're the land of the free, the home of the brave. We have freedom of speech. but you're arguing with someone else with their freedom to make choices, right? It's being shoved in our face, and it's not here to protect you guys. You realize that your protected class that you think and you're arguing with other people back and forth on TikTok, you guys realize this isn't to protect you. You realize that, right? It's ESG, environmental social governance. Do your research around World Economic Forum, Larry Fink, BlackRock, Aladdin, the most sophisticated trading platform. ESG is not just climate change, guys. It's everything, it's encompassing. And if you don't follow ESG and you have your proper points, you will not get your funding. This isn't about your feelings. This isn't about protecting classes. It's about economics, politics, power, and money. And will always be the same. So arguing back and forth and going after people and trying to destroy other people's lives and other people's livelihoods and things, that is what they want. They want us fighting against each other. So the job markets are going to start to falter. You're going to see the capital markets, in my opinion, which is cryptocurrency, the stock market, pull back. Now, here's the good news. If you are an investor and you're working to build generational wealth for your family, this is the greatest opportunity in human history. Unfortunately, or fortunately, when there's blood in the streets, that's what you can get very, very wealthy. These cycles are going to happen over and over and over again. So, what should you be doing right now? Right now, you should be focusing on your principles, developing principles. You should be getting disciplined and consistent. You should be working on your mindset, your health, your fitness. You should be creating a budget for your family and looking where your leaks are at within your budget. You should be cutting out frivolous spending, putting cash on the sidelines. Cash is trash. Put that on the sidelines, hold on to it, and look for nice intrinsic value cryptos or speculative assets or some stocks that come pulling down. Buy those stocks or cryptos, hold on to them. When we see them come back in 24, 2025, you have an exit plan. When everybody's getting excited, you exit. Okay. You pull profits. Okay. Always pull your initial investment first. You pull profits when everybody's entering the market, and then you secure it in things like IUL, leverage life insurance. You can secure it in putting equity into businesses. You can put it into precious metals, real estate, into real world tangible things that you can hold on to. And then you repeat the cycle. And then you take the things like the IUL or the real estate and you put the money back into the capital markets, right? So does this make sense? I just want to make sure, comment down below if you want me to continue to talk about this type of stuff. It's time to stay calm. It's time to stay focused on principles, discipline, and consistency. So what I think is going to happen with the crypto market is there's choke points. They're choking off the exits, right? The exit to the traditional banking system. If you look up master account, okay? So crypto banks have to have a master account with the Federal Reserve. Eventually, what's going to happen is Coinbase will become a bank, Kraken will become a bank, Ripple will become a bank. Guys, this is all happening behind the scenes, just like they told you cryptocurrency is a fraud. And Bank of America has the most cryptocurrency patents. Just like Wells Fargo told you crypto's a fraud, and they're working with R3 since 2017, distributed ledger technology. Okay. Just like Jamie Dimon told you cryptocurrency is a fraud. He says Bitcoin is shit, but blockchain and DLT is here to stay. DLT and blockchain is not going anywhere, guys. This is about choking off your ability to have your own sovereign financial system like a Dogecoin or something to transact outside the traditional banking system. So you have to hold on like a tick on a dog. You have to make sure you don't put a bunch of money that you can't afford to lose. Okay. And you need to stay focused on your family, your principles. So what's going to happen is they're going to choke point everything off. I almost guarantee you guys from 2025 to 2030, you're going to start to see Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan start custodying your cryptocurrency. Come to the safe place, right? They want your liquidity. This is all to get the liquidity back into the market, into the traditional banking system. That's what this is about, guys. Don't get caught up in the FUD. It's about choking everything off and pulling the liquidity back into the system because people are starting to wake up because they're seeing that the society, I think Gen Z, the new generation that's coming up is digital. They see the value in this stuff. Okay. And most of the wealth is with the baby boomers. That wealth is transferring down. So they're worried that that wealth is going to transfer down to the baby boomers. Is going to go into the cryptocurrency, Web3, and all this stuff. So what they're doing is they're trying to choke off the exit points, and they're going to get themselves set up so they can be on the back end to catch you. So I hope this information reaches you well. Those are my predictions. The job markets in Q3 and Q4 are going to start to get really, really hairy. Right now, I'd work on understanding how money flows work. You need to make money become your employee. Okay. No longer trade time for money, guys. If you do trade time for money, every time you get paid, you have to make money your employee. What does that mean? So when you get paid, You should be taking that money and growing it. If you have cash sitting in your bank account, think about that. That's a fixed account. They're giving you nothing. It's fixed now. If you have it in a savings account, it's a fixed account. If you make interest on that, you're taxed now. Then you have a variable account. So your money is to get it out of the fixed account, which is like a savings account, get it into maybe a variable account because you're going to sit there, you're going to spend it anyways. Put it into maybe a speculative asset, control your own investments, start to understand investing, maybe put in some crypto or some stocks. When it profits, pull it out and lock it into. So you got fixed, you got variable, and then we got index. Then put it into something that's indexed, which is safe, like an IUL or an insurance policy that's indexed to the markets. You get market-like returns and guaranteed principal. So what we're doing is we're taking it out of those fixed accounts, we're putting it in some variable accounts, the money we can afford to lose. We're taking profits and we're locking it up in index and we're getting some security for our family. It's not that complex, Warriors. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Everything and all these resources that I'm talking about are inside the Warrior Academy. I just want to share, nobody's coming to save you guys. You're already been saved. You're already healthy. You're already wealthy. You're already abundant. We love you guys so much. And I appreciate you. As we always say, Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.